Hello, and welcome to another episode of Just Wing It with KSP and RP-2 mod. So we're on the launch pad with the rocket to complete down, the final downrange milestone contract, but there's a slight issue um, that I need to talk about first. So at the end of the previous episode, I was in the mission control scene about to accept this contract, and I did accept it. I built the rocket. I clicked to start rolling it out, and at that moment, I don't know why I decided to glance back at the contract, and I noticed this. Our rocket did not have any sounding rocket payload. So I had to stop the rollback, re-edit it, add a service model tank with 50 units of payload, but on such a small stage, 50 units does really take a chunk out of the Delta V. So yeah, our rocket was no longer able to perform the mission. So I had to tweak it as much as so I changed I first of all, if you remember the previous episode, we had upgraded the what is it, the U2000 engines? Yeah, U2000, but we had forgotten to upgrade the third stage one. So I switched that, and then because it has more efficiency and a long burn time, I needed to increase the length of the fuel tank to get the most out of it. And since I was going to have to retool that anyways, I went and changed it to aluminum stringer tank, which is lighter and has more utilization. So yeah, those were the main changes. But it's still very touch and go. It depends a lot on how much we're tumbling in the second and third stage. And we only have 3 tries based on how long it takes to build a rocket before our deadline. So if this launch fails, it might be even worth to change these 2 tanks to the aluminum stringer tanks. But we'll see. Let's hope everything goes well in this first launch. In other news, I finally found a video editor that I like that doesn't have a watermark, and I just finished editing the first episode, so that should be up soon. And yeah, I know, like, by the time you're watching this, a lot of time has passed. I don't even know how many episodes we're in right now, but it's just like to let you know that I still haven't read any comments if there are any. Okay, we have Nico, and now it's time to coast for a little bit. No, don't. Oh, we already lost one engine. And we're tumbling a lot. This does not bode well for this mission. Okay, no problems with the third stage. But we are tumbling a lot. I don't think this is going to make it, but let's see. I don't think I put any, any scientific instruments. We will be going over water, uh, but I think from the experiments we have only, like they're only biome dependent, flying high, so it's still within the atmosphere, and we won't really spend a lot of time in the atmosphere before blowing up. Yeah, that's a considerably lower apogee than when I tested this. Okay, let's just time warp. Nope, we're very short of being like in the halfway point and we're about to start going down. Yeah, this is... I'll still follow it, but this is not going to get to the desired range. Yep, more than 1,000 kilometers short. Not good at all. I'll see how much more time it will take to build a rocket with the better tanks and how much it will cost, which is the other thing. Okay, so while the second rocket is being built, we do have another contract to take care of, which is the supersonic X-planes contract, where, yeah. So maintain between 500 meters per second and 550 meters per second in level flight, and wait, where's the... I thought, yeah, no, never mind. I thought I needed to reach a certain altitude, but that's the rocket engines. So here we go. Uh, yes, I have it enabled. Okay, so because we have already seen several of these flights, I'll just show you the highlights. Well, basically, I will go on a shallow climb until 12,000 meters, then turn around, gun the engines until I complete the contract, and then turn around to land. Okay, we're at altitude and have turned around, so it's time to gun the engines. Okay, so we are at speed. Our engine is overheating a little bit, so I have to keep an eye on that. But otherwise, we just need to maintain this level. Is the clock ticking here? Yes. When we get to 510 meters per second, I will throttle back just a tad to keep it stable. And yeah, while we do this, so I should mention, I think I'm also going to try different launch profiles for the sounding rocket to see if maybe I can get away with just like having a more efficient burn, because the code that I'm using right now, it sends the rocket quite high, which is not the most optimal thing. But the main problem is I don't have a way of aiming the third stage at the horizon, which would be the best thing to do. Okay, so that seems to be a good amount of throttle. We're halfway there. Good. We passed the Space Center callback, so it will be a bit of a flight to get back, but we're doing quite well on fuel, and I just need quarter throttle to get there at a decent speed, so it shouldn't be a problem. It is a clear day, so I also shouldn't have a problem finding the runway, but even if it were, I think I've gotten quite comfortable with using the navigational tools. Yes. Excellent. Contract complete. Let's just land this thing. I'll be back with you for landing. Okay, we're on final approach, 14 kilometers out. And yeah, the intermission was nominal. Nothing really out of note to report. Let's just hope the landing is also like that. But we should be good to go. All lined up. And here we go. Throttle down, flare up. Excellent, another one for the books. Okay, so retirement, they pushed only 11 days. I think we're going to lose all our pilots before the finish of the program. I really would like to not have to hire new pilots, but yeah, they just don't. I don't seem to be able to push them far back enough. But we also got some science. That's always good. And let's see the new contract. 550 meters per second to 600. Yeah. Let's see. I don't know if the engine we currently have will overheat or if it will be time to build a new aircraft. But now it's time for me to experiment with some launch profiles, so I'll be back when I have decided what to do. Okay, we are back in the spaceplane hangar because, yes, I did run the test and our Dragonfly aircraft is not able to fulfill the contract. So it's time to build a new plane. First, I should address something. Off camera, I did some management. I noticed that we were making a decent amount of money per day, so I hired a few engineers and researchers, taking care that the amount of funds we're getting per day doesn't drop too low. Unfortunately, I forgot about the fact that there's an upfront cost to hiring new people, and I wasn't checking my actual funds. So, yes, I don't even have enough money to hire any new engineer or researcher. So yeah, forget about uh, like buying a Saturn V. I can't even buy the Lego version right now. But fortunately, we still have. I think I was just under 100 funds per day, so it will get back up to decent amount of funds in no time. Well, maybe not no time, but we'll be fine. Anyways, so from the contracts, this is the um, where is this? What, I don't have it. Okay, yeah, I haven't accepted it yet, but basically the contract is to like same as the other ones, except like spend 3 minutes above 550 meters per second, and then land back at the runway. Same contract we've done before, just higher speed, no altitude requirement or anything. And then that's the last like jet contract that there is before the Mach 2 contract. So I will design this, keep in mind that I want to reach Mach 2, which I'm just going to put it at 700 meters per second. Because of the altitude, it will be less, but let's try to aim for that. I wanted to see if there was another cockpit I could use just for the fun of it. But there's only this one that is like for jets. I mean, trying to reach Mach 2 in a World War II cockpit is probably not the best idea. So yeah, let's not do that. And this one it's just huge. So no, we're keeping the X1 cockpit. But aside from that, let's just grab all of these things. I'm thinking of going for 2 engines. I will upgrade this engine to the version that will be unlocked with the next node. That is, I think, 200 days away or something like that. But okay, so let's see. We want to use this one. And the reason I went for this type of tank is because we have the Mark II variant. Okay, that looks good. Actually, no. And then here, what I want is that. But then I think, yeah, I want one in the middle that has like normal body length. Not length, but okay, that looks good. Can I increase the length a little bit here? No, it's only the diameter, so, but okay, there was 3 long. Okay. And we want to, so this is Meteor Supersonic Flight, yes, this is our next one. So we want to do this because I think the one we were using before would have overheated. If we got to 550 meters per second, definitely 700, so let's just try it like this. So for this design, I want to go more for a long delta wing and canards instead of a horizontal stabilizer in the back. I'm thinking maybe of going with high wings. Let's see how this goes. There. Let's go for the lightest tank we have, why not? Okay. And I'm also going to go for a double vertical stabilizer. Yeah, like that. I'm liking these. So wait, let me check. These are all moving, right? Yes, okay. That might not be enough, right? But let's see. And then the back landing gear. Now, the nice thing about having canards instead of what's an elevator is that the it doesn't matter if you have like your landing gear way at the back because so the elevators push the tail down for takeoff, so you need to be able to um, pivot around the landing gear while the canards push the nose up. So this should be easier. Not like that. That looks good. So now what I should be checking for is this. Yes, first, let's go for 40 minutes of flight time. I think I might want to have these ones here instead so that they're further back, providing better control. Now, one disadvantage of this design is that I won't have flaps. How does this affect? Okay. So there's no need to add fuel on either of those tanks. It will make balancing easier. Yeah, it's looking good. So now stability. Where was this? Far. Yeah, okay. Wait. Um, Before doing anything, I need to check the control surfaces if I put them correctly. Yes, so flap inactive, control, and we only want this for roll. Yes, that's correct. Flap inactive? I don't know what happened to my... here they are. Yes, let's get rid of this. Thank you. So this is still... Oh, so both of these are... Oh, right, because I just copied it. You know what? There, less parts. I don't think I want to also make them an elevator. Maybe. I'll see how it handles. The stability derivatives we're not complaining about like lack of elevator authority, so that should be fine. And this, yeah, okay. So then maybe what we need to do is lengthen this a little bit. I said a little bit. Come on, game. No. Change in roll. Okay. So maybe this was not the best thing to do. So I wonder if it's because of there's no tilt to the wings. Oh, that got a lot worse. Okay, so I'm not entirely sure if this is just not liking the double vertical stabilizer setup or what. It is a very small amount of instability, so we can just test it. Oh, let's just first also check 15 kilometers Mach 2. And this one it likes, so how bad can it be, right? Okay, this is ended up a bit weird, so let's just reattach it. There. Do I want to keep the... Yeah, let's do it like that, and let's keep the canards black to go with the cockpit. Sorry, I just hit the microphone there. One last thing we need to check is transonic design. Okay, mostly a smooth curve, that's good. I feel like the canards could have like a bigger offset. But then how does that look for? Ooh, okay. Okay, this looks like it could work, sort of. Let's see. Time for a test flight. Okay, so here we are in the runway, ready to test this. Let's just do this from the outside for now. So no flaps here. What was that? Ah, right, I forgot about the intake area. Be right back. Um, Apparently the game no longer has like unsaved design when you go for testing it. And because of the bug that it goes into the wait, let me check something. Yep. So I have to rebuild this, so I'll be back when that's done. Okay, we're back. So yeah, I just added these rather large air intakes. Intakes in this game are quite large. Well, I think I was just designing very small airplanes. Um, Let me just check again that it's still, yeah, it's still the same flight time. So I put the right engines. So yeah, looks like, it doesn't look too weird. So let's test this again. Okay, here we go. Let's not go into afterburner territory. That is good. Uh, so first things first, I don't have any pitch authority apparently. Um, so I think I will have to rely on elevons, which means I also have to mind the placement of the landing gear. So be right back. Okay, take 3. Nope, it still doesn't want to pull up. And I broke the landing gear again. Uh, okay, it looks like it needs a bit of a major redesign. Okay, so first option is to make the canards much bigger. Second option is to tilt the wings a little bit so that they're naturally aiming up, let's say. Let's actually try that. Okay, let's see if that does the trick. Okay, so the other thing might be that I just don't have enough lift for the weight of this aircraft. Okay, so I increased the wingspan, and also I noticed that I still have the landing gear all the way over here, so I think the aircraft was nosing a lot more down. So hopefully this helps. Temp number, I already 5, I think. Excellent, we are up. Still, I might want to tweak it a little bit to make it easier to take off at a slower speed. But, okay, let's test the rest of the aircraft capabilities for now. So we can definitely climb at a steeper angle. That's good. And now I'll get up to 14,000 meters and see how fast we get. And be back then. Okay, so we're still climbing, but I am noticing that my angle of attack is very large. I don't remember it being this large at this altitude and speed with the first with the Dragonfly Mark 1. So yeah, I might need bigger wings. And we're starting to get temperature warnings at 430 meters per second, so it's quite good actually. Okay, so it definitely has no trouble getting to the 550 meters per second that we need for the contract, but like I said, I want this to also be able to do the Mark II contract. High dynamic pressure. Okay, let's start climbing a little bit. And actually, this claims that we're already at Mach 2. So I'm still going to try to get to 700 meters per second. But this should already be good enough for the contract. And we made it to 700 meters per second. Let's... I didn't notice. We were about to overheat. Okay, so as far as this is concerned, this design is good. Now, let's see how it lands. I will continue flying until we're 70 kilometers away, then turn around and start lining up. Let's just start heading back down. And yeah, I'll continue the recording once we're ready to land. Okay, we're 10 kilometers out and we're going exceedingly fast. I am at 0% throttle and I don't have any way of slowing down. So, let's see, this might just be too steep a glide. Okay, we're boarding. Let's try shallower glide slope for this. I'll go back out to 20 kilometers and try again. Okay, here we are again, and yeah, we're still going very fast. I need to add brakes to this, don't I? Okay, so I have added a rudder brake. Let's see how this works. It doesn't. Oh, okay. That's a bit problematic. Those need to be opening in the opposite direction. Okay, so now in the space plane hangar, they actually turn in opposite directions. So I don't know what gives. I didn't change any settings. Okay, let's try this again. Okay, this seems very indecisive. Now they're going inwards instead of outwards, but I guess that achieves the same objective. So let's try this. I'm not going to show the whole flight. I reduced the amount of fuel quite a bit, like 30%, I think, like to 30%. So I'm just going to take a quick take off, take a quick lap, and just come back to for landing. And I'll come back when it's time to land. Okay, for some reason, once I'm in the flight scene, they always turn in the same direction. So that's me extending the flap, and it's starting to, yes, there. I'm not touching the rudder or anything. So that's not an option. Okay, I'm just going to try to land this to see how it handles at low speeds, even if it's not going to be on the runway. Even if, no, that's not an if, that's a though, like definitely. We're going at 191 meters per second. Did I already lower the gear? Yes. Okay, so one option is to just be more careful of like having to slow down way further out than what I'm doing it right now. Oh, those are not exactly straight out. No, they look fine. I From this view, it feels that the vertical stabilizers are a bit leaning inwards. I'll check that out in the hangar. Um, the other thing I can do is to see about putting some sort of air brakes and also going for a design similar to the previous one. So given that I also had this problem with the very large angle of attack, I'm going to design uh, an airplane that has horizontal stabilizer instead of canards, and then see which one I like more. So I think the whole building thing has already gone quite long, so I'll just show you the end result. Okay, so I did also build an airplane with a horizontal stabilizer, and I mean, honestly, it turns out that the problem is if you streamline an airplane good enough that it can reach Mach 2, then it's not bound to lose speed that quickly, like just on its own, even with flaps. So I just have to be more careful and start my approach like from a longer distance. Also, I did already like spend do a mission like spending 3 minutes in above 600 meters per second, and I still ended up with half of my fuel. So I'm going to I already have this down to 30 minutes. I'm going to go back down to 20 minutes of flight time, and hopefully uh, the lower weight would also help us. Well, first of all, take off, and also like make landing easier. I was able to land it. I had to go around in the end, and I almost stalled it. Like the angle of attack when flying slow is really large, but it can still be controlled. So I'm. I mean, I can't even build it right now. I still. Where is this? So we still need to research mature supersonic flight for this, which is 145 days plus the 20 days for this, 19. Um, and we still need to do the rocket plane mission. So I let's leave this tentative for now, and once it's time to build this, I'll see if I feel comfortable. Uh, Struggling a little bit with low speed flying, but I mean I managed to land it in the runway, so uh, it might just take some practice. Um, this episode might be a little bit long, but let's just try to sneak in uh, the rocket plane mission in there. But I have to practice the uh, like which is the best mission profile for this. I will also lower the fuel because if you recall, this is like the way I built it is to go all the way to 70 kilometers in altitude, which is not what we need right now. So I will test some fuel loadouts, practice the mission profile, and I'll probably finish recording this mission this episode another day. But for you, it will be just a few seconds. So see you in a bit. Okay, so last mission for the day. We will simply hold a 30-degree climb until the fuel runs out, and this should be enough to get us the what is it? 700 meters per second. Like, yeah, we're going to go way past this as long as we don't have two failures, and we should be getting to like 46,000 meters in altitude, so more than enough. Okay, we have passed the target speed, and we're not quite there yet on the altitude, but we'll be there shortly. We're climbing at quite a good speed. And there we go. So now we just have to land, ideally on the runway. So we got a speed record and two altitude records, 30 and 40 kilometers. And the speed was the 1000 meter per second mark, I think. So now it's just a matter of coasting here until I'm going to aim at the horizon until the glide slope says that we are too high, and then start nosing down. That way I will avoid excessive speeds. But I will come back when either something interesting happens, which hopefully not, interesting in space missions. Uh, well, interesting in the way of like we've done this a million times before, and then something interesting happens, it's a bad thing, so hopefully I'll just see you for landing. Gear down, the brakes are activated. Sometimes I forget that. Uh, Looking good, looking good. Flare up. And touchdown. Excellent. So contract complete. Um, Contract parameter complete. We landed in the runway. Let's recover this and see how this changes the missions. Recovery of a vessel that survived the flight. Ah, yes, because the previous ones were not going above 40,000 meters, so they weren't getting counted. Okay, good. Because yeah, I was feeling we were a bit low on science now. Um, we still have three tech nodes in the queue, but they won't take that long. Well, I mean, this one's only 4 days, so yeah, we would be running out of things to research in less than a year unless we get more science. But between this and the supersonic contracts, it should be fine. But yeah, that's why I want to get to the suborbital science program as soon as possible as well. Also, science gives us reputations, which we're in the positive, but it's still low. I mean, we could be a lot higher if it wasn't for uh, the fact that I accidentally killed Katie. Oops. Yes, so what do you mean when ready for next assignment? She should be going on leave and uh, extending her retirement date, no? Okay, yeah, she did extend. So she might be the only one that is left for the Carmen Line contract because it's the only one that where I seem to be able to push her retirement date a significant amount. But yeah, okay, let's go to the mission control. So yeah, this is the one. Yeah, these are the active ones. This is the one that I was designing the airplane for, and high altitude, reach 50 kilometers. So with slightly more fuel, we should be able to do this with the same mission profile. We got to 46, 47. I did not really take note, but it doesn't matter that much. And then, yeah, just go to the runway. So let's just already accept this because we only need to um, roll back and refurbish the airplane and we'll be good. How does this look? 143. I'm not going to hire any new people right now, even if we're making more than 100 funds a day because, yeah, we're tight on cash. Um, so yeah, we have this one on the horizon, and then Carmen Line, we still need the X-15 cockpit, so that will take a while, unfortunately. And I don't know if there's how much there is between the 50 kilometers one and this one. Um, on one hand, yeah, the contracts are getting a bit repetitive, but on the other hand, I do want to have some missions to, well, still increase my reputation and also extend the retirement date for the astronauts until we get the X-15 cockpit. And yeah, this is just, well, we're going to start the next episode with this, I think. Uh, no, maybe it might be another mission like this. So yeah, that's what I mean about it getting repetitive. Um, but yeah, if the first thing next episode is another mission like this, I'll just like do quickly, just showing you the highlights like I did this one. Um, yeah. So anyways, that will be it for today. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.